It's just it's I don't know, man. It's people just look at the All-Star break. It's like, damn, I get time to chill.
What did you say?
People just look at the All-Star break. It's like, damn, I get time to chill.
That's what I thought you said.
And then you throw the All-Star game in there midway, and then you watching everybody around you enjoy vacation and enjoying off time. And you like, shit, I still gotta I gotta go hard for this game.
Paul George, air ball.
So I went to Larry, and I said, Larry, what was your attitude toward All-Star games? I wanted to win. Period. Quote unquote. I wanted to win.
Right.
I said, we played competitive games, but you played basketball and you wanted to win. Gee, how elementary is that?
Rebound is by Magic. An 18-point lead for the Eastern All-Stars. Their biggest lead is 12. All right. Sort of a rebound off of Ewing. Thomas. Akeem. Blocked by Barkley. Barkley blocks Akeem. Only 6'4 and a half. He did it.
Yes.
And the extra pass by Bird.
Perfection.
As I'm sure you guys know, when it comes to the NBA All-Star Weekend, for really the past decade, but especially the 2020s, this entire weekend's become a dumpster fire and a glorified shell of its former self. As looking at events like the dunk contest, while in past eras you had superstar players actually competing, nowadays, largely nobody's benchwarmers and even G League players.
Environment like look how fast he's going. It's going to be crazy. Oh, he slipped.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, 2 attempts left. Oh, jump over a piece of paper.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Of course, the skills contest, it's always meh. The three-point contest is actually pretty exciting. But besides that, the first day of All-Star Weekend is largely forgettable. And of course, look at the All-Star Game itself, probably the most forgettable event out of the entire weekend. And the thing is, it wasn't always like this. Back in the 1950s, 60s, and really into the early 2010s, the All-Star Game was kind of must-see TV for basketball junkies. And of course, the superstars themselves, it was kind of a proving ground to see who was the best center, the best power forward, the best point guard, even who was the best player in the NBA.
Stockton gets by Bird. Here's Magic. Goes for 3. And he's got it. And it's now 7-2 in favor of the West.
Well, for people who really aren't zeroed in on Magic, that's his new shot.
And it's Jordan's new shot too, Hubie.
Well, a little touche that time.
The West up by 8 with just under 3 to go in the 4th. Off the block by Paul.
For the majority of NBA history, the biggest events All-Star Weekend have of course been the dunk contest, but also the actual All-Star Game. Now looking at present times, the All-Star Game, of course a former shell of itself, and at this point just kind of mockery of basketball. As of course in the past couple of years, they've changed the format over and over again. Things like Team LeBron, Team Durant. Now it's like these 4 different teams, Team Chuck, Shaq, Kenny. I mean, just kind of a gimmick, get some cheap views, and really nothing else. What it comes down to with the All-Star Game isn't the format, the uniforms, the court, even the location. What it comes down to is the players, their effort, and their intensity on the hardwood. And unfortunately for a lot of NBA fans nowadays, the modern day superstars just view this game as a chore and something that quite frankly is beneath them.
Here's my, we already had a hard time with one game. How are we going to have 3 games, 3 All-Star games? We had hard enough time trying to get everyone to compete at a high level playing in one game.
Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
People just look at the All-Star break. It's like, damn, I get time to chill.
For someone like Paul George to say it so openly is honestly pretty shocking. Of course, watching the game you get that vibe, but for someone to actually say it out loud is still pretty jarring. And the star players of this era having that attitude, it's very contagious and really downright cancerous. As of course, with that mindset, what happens at All-Star Game every single year? Of course, no defense, 45-foot threes, wide open layups, and just kind of a glorified skills challenge that's basketball malpractice.
22 years of age. They're building around him now with the Raptors.
There's Young with the three. And what's even more gratifying for Morant, his team has the third best record in the NBA, as Young steals it, sets up Morant.
His facial expression did not change. Like, this is an expectation.
He shot that from Weaver Stadium. He's not going to do it again, is he?
48 foot. This from half court.
Now look, let's be realistic for 1 second. When it comes to an All-Star game, what are we asking for? We're not asking for Game 7 level defense, NBA Finals defense, really even regular season defense. We're just asking for a competitive pickup game that resembles basketball. The past couple All-Star games can't even do that.
That's a damn shame.
And of course, looking at the past 2 All-Star games, you had Larry Bird and Adam Silver have to go out of their way, tell the players to play hard, be competitive, and show out for the fans. Now, to Adam Silver and Larry Bird saying that, I definitely appreciate it. But the sad thing is the players, it's in one ear, out the other. And of course, in past eras, you didn't need some older NBA legend, even the commissioner, to tell players, take the game seriously and play hard. And looking back through NBA history, one All-Star game I just picked out randomly was 1990. And this year down in South Beach was kind of special. As looking at the trio of Magic, Bird, and Jordan, kind of the 3 pillars of the NBA, this was the last time those 3 players suit up in one singular All-Star game, as of course Bird the following years was injured and couldn't participate. And looking past the old guard, the new players coming up, I mean the rosters were absolutely loaded. Of course in the East, you had Jordan, you had Barkley, Ewing, Reggie Miller, Dominique, and of course Scottie. Then in the West, Hakeem Olajuwon, Stockton, Drexler, even a young David Robinson.
Hands down that time, never thinking that Zeke would give it to him.
Oh, yes. Magic to David Robinson. 69-57, and the lead is 12. Bird.
Yes, Tom's back to his initial look.
And his first assist of this All-Star game. How about this one? Thomas through the legs of a defender to Michael Jordan. Pippen in the rebound. Chicago Bull. Outstanding defense. David Robinson double teamed inside. Chambers. And on the break the other way, Dominique.
2 beautiful plays.
Blackman tried to get it into Worthy. Jordan saves, loses. And Worthy couldn't hit the shot inside. It might have cut it to 8. Oh, look at there's Jordan to Robinson.
The late 1980s, early 1990s was kind of a clash of 2 eras meeting at one singular peak. As looking at the East All-Stars, every single player on this roster was an eventual Hall of Famer. And looking at both the East and West, you had a grand total 11 players who put in the 92 Dream Team, the greatest team ever assembled. And one thing I do want to hammer home with this All-Star game, and a lot of the older All-Star games, of course you had highlight dunks, 3-pointers, you had all the great offensive plays. But on the flip side, you had great defensive plays from the guards, but especially the bigs. And looking at just the first half, even just the first quarter, there were more great defensive plays in that quarter than the past 10 All-Star games combined into one.
The great work ethic as AC Green does, then gets the reward. Jordan. Isaiah Thomas change hands, and AC Green gets the block on the play. Filling the lane, he's got Lever and Worthy. Worthy goes in. Pippen
Practice. So they go with their instincts today, Dick.
Good defense by Charles Barkley. You can just put down 30 and 10 each game. No foul. Worthy looked to Billy Oakes. They hotel room. They didn't want to miss the game. Hakeem blocked by Ewing.
Tell me this isn't a battle for AC Green. People kind of forget that he was on his second team all-defensive team. Plus, he's one of the best rebounders in this game. His coaches in basketball, Larry Brown.
Yeah, last year was his first losing year as a coach. Michael Jordan has come in for the East. James Worthy for the West. Robinson banging bodies inside. Slapped away, and here's Michael.
The 1990 All-Star game in the first half, the intensity, competitiveness, just defensive will, rivals a lot of games from the modern era during the regular season. When looking at a lot of the past All-Star games, the 80s, 1990s, even early 2000s, the presentation, the uniforms, just the intensity, the gratitude of the players, compared to today's NBA, is not even comparable. And watching a lot of these older games, studying all the film, they always appreciate past eras like the 50s, 60s, even 1970s.
We're in Boston Garden for the first NBA All-Star game, and the big man, center George Mikan, is the main attraction. We're underway, and Ed McCauley wins the tip for the East. The ball is advanced across half court. And Dov Shays hits the long shot from the corner. Bob Cousy dribbles behind his back, makes a nifty pass to Shays for the lay-in. On the West, veteran Bob Pettit is teamed with rookie sensation Elgin Baylor. The battle for the rebound is won by Pettit. The quick outlet goes to Martin. Down court it goes to Shue under to Baylor. He lays it up. It's tipped in by Pettit. Interest in pro basketball reaches new heights. Curiosity abounds. All eyes are on a giant rookie named Wilt Chamberlain. Bob Cousy with the ball racing up court, throws a shovel pass over to Wilt, who stops it. Here in St. Louis, Oscar Robertson and Bill Russell are the big guns for the East. Jerry Lucas has the ball, passes over to Russell, hands it to the Big O, who goes baseline and hits the jumper.
Lou Alcindor signed with the Milwaukee Bucks of the National Basketball Association.
With Alcindor starting tonight, the West All-Stars look awfully tough. Lenny Wilkins crossover dribble, drives to the basket for 2 points and earns MVP honors. Scores tied here in the final seconds. Jerry West smothered by Walt Frazier. Fires a 20-footer. It's good. The West All-Stars win. Julius Erving, showcase since the merger, with the ball on a fast break, takes off in the air and slams it home. It's a battle of the Big Reds. Dave Cowens defends Bill Walton. Walter Davis passes over to Walton, who lays it in. With Magic Johnson watching, Larry Bird is free on a breakaway, scores, and captures the MVP trophy. The NBA All-Star Game has reached glorious heights with great stars and special moments. 40 years of star performances, and the fifth decade, the 90s, begins today.
If you're a basketball fan like myself, you love debating eras, players, who had more talent, skill, was a better defender, who was a better shooter. But I think one thing we can all agree on unanimously, the All-Star Games in the 2020s aren't even comparable to 2010s, 2000s, 90s, and so on. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.